Good evening. I'm Amanda Decker. Thanks for joining us for Fox 11 News. Police in Gardnerville are investigating a body that was found. Two maintenance workers at Lampe Park found it in a shallow creek this morning. First on Fox, Terry Hendry explains why the seeming drowning death is only part of the story. That was Terry Hendry reporting. Police say at this point they do not suspect foul play. Well, witnesses to a Sun Valley shooting are telling investigators exactly what they saw. It happened around midnight in the 5500 block of Sun Vista Court. Deputies say the male victim was shot in the buttocks and underwent surgery early this morning. He is expected to make a full recovery. A quick thinking firefighter saves more than the day in Sun Valley this weekend. Barbara Durrell lost her childhood home to these flames Sunday morning. Her fiance, 4-month-old son, and 2 dogs all made it out unharmed. Then crews rescued the wedding dress she plans to wear at her July ceremony. Barbara says that was one of the last things she was expecting to ever see again. For now, the wedding planning has been put on hold, but eventually Barbara says she'll get back on her feet and walk down the aisle to her new life. We enjoyed some summer-like temps over the weekend, but cooler air has moved into the region. Meteorologist Chris Summers has tonight's first forecast. Hey, Chris. All right, thanks, Chris. March Madness has arrived, and several local casinos are preparing for the big games. Jamie Hayden shows us how the tournament is expected to bring in big bucks for area sports books. This course at the Peppermill today taught a major lesson in defensive landscaping. Professional landscapers are learning how to design and which materials can reduce wildfire risks. Topics include fire behavior, resistant landscaping, building materials, good and bad plants, and much more. Those who pass a written exam will have their names posted on the Living with Fire website. You can find out more at foxreno.com. Trapping regulations may be changing in Nevada for most counties. An advisory panel is recommending rules remain as they are everywhere except Clark and Washoe. Governor Sandoval wants the Nevada Wildlife Commission to shorten the 4-day rule for checking traps. A final recommendation is expected by June 5th. Waves will not be made at the Alf Sorensen Community Center this summer. The popular indoor heated pool will be closed from June through September for renovations. Crews will be upgrading the ceiling, lighting, and air systems. Swim and fitness classes will be moved to other locations, but the preschool, fitness center, and gym will stay open. An activities guide will be mailed off at the end of March. Whether you're Irish or not, St. Patrick's Day is widely celebrated across the country and here in the biggest little city as well. Ryan Kern tells us why this year's Monday celebration is not slowing down local holiday business. Russia tightens its grip on Crimea with a big vote, but what does that mean for the rest of the world? Coming up, natural gas and energy policies. We'll look at the common threads tying Russia to the West. And clearing out the old to make way for the new in the Midwest. Those stories and much more still ahead on Fox 11 News.
Now back to Fox 11 News, 11 at 11.
New information tonight in the mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight 307. The final words from the missing jetliner's cockpit, the co-pilot saying, "All right, good night," which indicates there was no problem on board, even though officials now know one of the plane's communication systems had been switched off without warning. As Roy Hobbs reports, this darkens the cloud of doubt already hanging over the 2 men at the plane's controls. The pilots did not ask for any extra fuel, and they made no special request to fly together, making the idea of a conspiracy seem less likely. Well, President Barack Obama says the U.S. government will go after Russian officials it says are responsible for the chaos in Ukraine. The White House today announced financial penalties against members of Vladimir Putin's inner circle, a day after residents of Crimea voted to leave Ukraine and join Russia.
We are imposing sanctions on specific individuals responsible for undermining the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and government of Ukraine.
Putin says he will address the issue at a special joint session of the Russian parliament tomorrow. The U.S. and its European allies had been saying for weeks that the Crimea referendum vote is a violation of international law and would not be recognized. But that didn't stop the more than 97% of Crimeans that reportedly voted to join Russia. The option not to join, however, was not on the ballot. You may wonder why Ukraine is so critical to Russia and the rest of the world. It may all boil down to energy. As Christine Frizzau explains, this tug of war for control pits Russia's grip on energy against everyone else who needs their supply. People in the LA area are feeling a bit rattled today.
An earthquake.
Big earthquake right now.
Big earthquake.
A 4.4 magnitude quake rocked the set of a morning news program. The quake hit at 6:25, waking people up all across town. Los Angeles police and fire officials say there are no immediate reports of damage. This is the largest quake to hit the area since 1994. The former School of Nursing at Iowa Methodist Medical Center comes down in Des Moines. Here are several angles of the implosion of the old School of Nursing building yesterday. Des Moines residents could hear the explosions across the city as a number of dynamite charges went off inside the building. It then collapsed safely to the ground. It's always cool to watch happen when it's supposed to happen.
Exactly, and it all goes right into one pile. It's pretty nice how they can do that.
Exactly.
Well, it was a pretty nice weekend around the Reno area. We saw temperatures well into the 70s yesterday, but a little bit cooler today. Our high temperature only reached 56 degrees. That's just a couple degrees below where we should be for this time of year. Our morning low was 47. Looks like some cool weather in store for us for the next couple of days. We'll talk more about that with your full forecast coming up next.
11 at 11. Local Northern Nevada coverage. Weather Center 11 starts now.
And we have some cool air back in the forecast for the Reno area. Temperatures back into the 20s by tomorrow morning. Overnight lows in the upper 20s to low 30s. So very typical for this time of year, but it would be nice to see those 70s like we had over the weekend, but unfortunately only upper 60s as we go through the next couple of days.
But on a bright note, literally, look at all that sunshine.
Exactly. Lots of sunshine expected.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Chris. More Nevadans seem to be finding work every month. The state unemployment rate falling to 8.7% in January. This is also the 37th month of year-over-year job growth. But for the city of Reno, the rate went up to 9.1% from 8.2% in December. Honda is recalling nearly 900,000 Odyssey minivans in the United States over the risk of fire from a fuel leak. The recall covers vehicles from the 2005 to 2010 model years. The automaker says the cover on the fuel pump strainer can deteriorate and crack, and that could lead to a fuel smell or to an actual leak that could start a fire. So far, there have been no accidents or fires reported because of the problem. Next in sports, bad news for the Oakland A's as a key member of the pitching staff will be out for the season. Meanwhile, some NBA players are donning Google Glass to give you an inside look at how they roll. Sports is coming up next.
Fox 11 Sports is brought to you by Bradley, Drendel, and Janae.
Projected opening day starter. I tell you what, I don't need Google Glass to feel what it's like to throw down a huge monster jam. Of course, I've got the ups. I can throw it down one-handed, reverse, underneath the basket.
I think we need to see that. I think we need to see that.
I don't believe a word of that. No. All right, let's get a final look at our forecast.
Lots of sunshine in the forecast. Temperatures a little cool tomorrow in the 50s, but back to the 60s ahead to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, during the Atlantic 10 finals at Barclays Center, St. Joseph's coach Phil Martelli's 4-year-old grandson named Philip decided to mimic his grandfather in the stands. Philip was wearing a similar suit as his grandfather, and when Martelli crosses his arm, so does Philip. And when he strokes his chin, well, so does Philip. Stole the show. It's pretty cute.
Kid.
Thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.